Be a snowboarder. It's a lifestyle, I would say, more than anything. I'm a snowboarder on the mountain, but I also have the mentality of snowboarding when I'm at work. A lot of snowboarders just enjoy life. That's what it is to be a snowboarder to me, I guess. It's a mindset more than just something you do, that's for sure.
Yo, I'm Andreas.
And I'm Justin.
And this is the Never Summer podcast.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. And today we got a special guest on. Yeah.
What's that? You got a what?
We got a special guest on.
Absolutely. It's Jared.
That's the reason
Jared
we're all
White.
here. Yeah.
The man.
To start things off, Jared, what's your role here at Never Summer?
Yeah, so I'm the plant manager here at Never Summer is my current role. So I oversee kind of the operations side. I hired all of you guys. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your fault. It's your fault.
I do like the scheduling of what we build, kind of work with the sales side to make the build schedule to make sure we're building the right boards to get the orders out and stuff, and just kind of deal with the day-to-day things that go on around here.
Right on. How'd you get started with Never Summer?
Yeah, so Never Summer in 2007, I was going to college down at CU in Boulder, and I needed to do an internship for a class. So I had an entrepreneurial class, and I needed to do an internship for it, and I had to interview an entrepreneur. And at that time, I was working at a restaurant in Boulder, and the girl I was working with was actually interning at Never Summer, and I found that out and was super into snowboarding, and I was like, oh man, that's the internship I want.
Yeah.
So I talked to her, got a connection to Tracy, one of the owners here, and the first thing I had to do was actually write a paper on an entrepreneur. So I got his number, got to come down, meet him, get a factory tour, and I was blown away. Got the whole story of how Never Summer was started. He was like, man, this is awesome. Then I asked him for an internship at the end of that. He got me set up. Kind of a funny story. He told me I needed the internship like October. This was like April or something when I was doing the interview with him. So I call him in October when he told me to call, and he kind of answered the phone like, who the hell is this? And he's like, yeah, this is Jared. He told me to give you a call for the internship. He's like, man, I'm in the hospital right now. My wife's she's pregnant with my daughter and having a baby right now. Can you call me in like 2 weeks? So the internship started a little bit later than I planned initially. But yeah, I started doing the internship thing, kind of worked in the office a bit, just answering phones, doing whatever, cleaning things up, helping in the back a little bit here or there. Finished the internship, was about to graduate school, didn't know what the hell I wanted to do, liked what I was doing here, asked Memo, the production manager, if he needed any help in the back, and got me a job in the back, started building boards, and over the course of the last 13, 14 years, been just kind of doing a bunch of different things, but I did finishing, shipping, board building, and then kind of got into the management side from there.
Nice.
So it's kind of evolved organically for the most part.
I heard about this thing called the Mantern.
Ooh, man, that's still going around. Yes, I was like the original Mantern. So at that point, I think a lot of the interns had been female and stuff, and I came in as a male, so they called me the Mantern. Little discriminatory, but I took it okay. But yeah, that stuck. So there's still people who work here today who have me in their phone as Mantern because that's the nickname I got like my first day in here.
Right on. So what about coming here blew you away? Just seeing.
Yeah, so I grew up snowboarding and stuff, but I decided, and I've always liked building things too. Like I was a kid, I'd make quarter pipes in my driveway and stuff like that. So fascinating, that kind of thing. I guess I had no idea how involved it was, building a snowboard and everything going into it. So just all the steps through the process really blew me away. And I'm kind of like a geek as far as processes go, I guess. So found that interesting. And then just being around just being around the people too, just seemed so passionate about it. And it's hard work. We all know it that we do, but it's something that most of us are really passionate about, and it just kind of creates a good vibe around here. And I kind of saw that right away. I was like, man, I could see myself being a part of something like this.
Do you remember how and when you got into snowboarding?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm not a Colorado native. I moved here in '96 from Iowa originally, nice. So there aren't mountains there. Yeah, you're in Iowa. That's right. But first time I went skiing, I was like 6 years old, in like a tiny mountain called Mount Crescent, like right by Council Bluffs, Iowa. And I was like, oh, this is fun. I remember seeing like a couple people snowboarding. It was like, what's that? And at that point, it wasn't skiing, snowboarding wasn't like a big thing on the radar. But a couple years later, in '96, my folks moved out to Colorado. And my mom grew up skiing a little bit, so we started to get into it as a family. And instantly, I wanted to switch to snowboard. My parents, they invested money into ski lessons and stuff. And they're like, "No, you can't snowboard until you like graduate from like the highest level of ski lessons, and then you're on your own with the snowboarding side because we've invested so much time and stuff in getting you good at skiing." So it made my goal to become like a good skier as quick as I could, so I could try snowboarding out. So I think 7th grade's when I had my first like actual day on like a resort snowboarding.
Nice.
So yeah, I was like 13 or so, and then by 8th grade, I don't think I ever really skied again.
No.
Nice.
One day on Gaper Day.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And then split boarding, but that doesn't count as skiing. 'Cause
Right.
You're just using the split board to get up,
True.
shred down.
Facts.
But yeah, so that's when I got into it, and yeah, I was hooked. That has always been my like most favorite hobby,
Yeah.
outside activity for sure.
That's what's up.
Do you think it benefited you to learn how to ski before snowboarding, or?
Probably. I do feel like I picked it up like fairly quick, and I was also like skateboarding some too when I started. So kind of putting like the sliding, you get that feeling of edge control and stuff on skis, combined with going like the asymmetrical direction on a snowboard. I feel like probably helped a little bit. But if I had my choice, I probably just would have started with snowboarding.
Well, I thought about this because I have my 5-year-old, and I was, I just don't know how to ski, so that's the problem. And I kind of wish low key, I wish that my parents taught me how to ski, but which they didn't. But yeah, I just wonder if it'd make me a better, snowboarder, knowing how to ski first and versus just snowboarding.
I know some of my friends, when they've gotten their ski kids out really young, they just thought skiing was a little easier.
Sure.
Teach a little less to manage, having more like movement of your feet and stuff. Now your son being at 5, I don't know.
I'm absolutely horrible on skis, so I don't think I would. That's what I get scared. I'm like, because he's still, he loves he loves his snowboard, but he is always curious about the skis. So I'm like, shoot, I should have.
That's the thing these days. It seems like now a lot of the kids want to ski because now their parents are snowboarders. They don't do what they want to do what their parents are doing.
That's kind of what made me think about it
now.
When you were saying about how your parents skied, and then you when they got you into lessons, you wanted to board. That kind of freaks me out a little bit. But whatever, we'll see.
You got to start skiing, so it.
Yeah, I can't. It's too late. It's too late.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my parents put me on skis at like 2, but I don't really remember like much of learning how to ski or how much of it translated over. Yeah.
Nice.
So, you were skateboarding before you were snowboarding, or?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I probably got into started skateboarding like 5th grade or so. I wasn't good by any means when I started, so at least had like the idea of how to push, how to go with one foot in front of the other, go sideways.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Right on. And what I guess what kept you like riding all these years?
Yeah, so well, one, just like a lot of my friends and stuff into it, so like fun thing to do with friends and stuff. I love the outdoors, I love the mountains in general, so year round I'm trying to get out and do stuff in the mountains. Yeah, just you can always get better too. At least with me, like I'm no expert at snowboarding. There's a reason I work here. I'm not a pro for Never Summer. But yeah, it's just so you can always like push. There's so many different disciplines with it. When I was younger, I was trying to be like the jib kid. Do rails and stuff, park jumps, and still do some of that. But there's so many different avenues to go down. Been more like the backcountry side, more recent years, and like the free ride aspects, and like I like I kind of like hiking and stuff in the summertime, just exploring things. And one thing I found with like the split boarding side of snowboarding, which I'm most interested in at this point, is just like the exploring side. So it's not just riding like cool gnarly lines, like you never know where you're gonna end up. A lot of the resorts in Colorado anyway, I've explored them pretty good and stuff. Now like exploring like off the beaten path and stuff like that.
That's what's up.
But yeah, so I guess it's just there's always something new to find, new to explore on the snowboard.
So one quick question I had was, what kind of setup are you doing this backcountry on? And also, like, bindings, what kind of bindings do you prefer with that setup?
Yeah.
I guess that's included.
So for my board, I'm riding the Swift Split.
Nice.
So that's like our Shaper series, big early rise nose, obviously rocker camber, our fusion profile, floats real well, like a dream, and yeah, just super surfy feel. I also have one of our older West splits as well,
Nice.
So that's more of like a traditional shape. So if it's going to be a day where, maybe might be a little more adverse conditions, maybe not a full POW day, sometimes I'll take that west out too. But I really wanted to get out on the new Proto FR split to try out, so haven't been on that one yet, but that's dropping here soon.
Oh,
but yeah,
nice.
So that's back to a kind of a cambered profile with the early rise, but
I feel like
a little bit more of an aggressive
that.
ride maybe, but we'll see.
Nice.
I guess I can't talk about too much till I ride it.
Right. True. And then with the bindings, what kind of bindings?
So I've used Spark R&D bindings. When I first got into splitting, I didn't have any much money for the setup or whatever, and I was just using my regular flux bindings, what I use on my solid board, and I had the conversion kit where you put the slider track plate on there. So I did that for a year or two, and then invested in some Spark R&D bindings, and they're super sick. I've actually been up and toured their factory up in Bozeman, Montana. It's really cool.
Nice.
All aluminum cut.
Nice.
Cut bindings, and really lightweight, durable.
I think Jeff was telling me that's what he rides too.
Yep, probably so.
Yep.
Yeah, no, they're trick for sure. So.
Nice. Heck yeah. And then for soft goods, just out of curiosity.
Soft goods. So right now I'm rocking Volcom.
Nice.
Pants and jacket.
That's the move.
I've got a Smith helmet. Got
Nice.
the dome safe. Smith goggles.
Got to stay safe.
Yep. So you got some, what do I have for gloves right now? Hestras when it's super cold.
Nice.
Those things are...
My little boy has a pair of Hestras too. I don't have them, but he has them.
Nice.
But nice, dude.
And then I'm wearing 32 boots. Got Team 2.
That's what's up. Those are a little stiffer than the last
They
ones,
are,
right?
yep. And I got the XLT, so they got the Vibram sole, so kicking steps and stuff. And
Nice.
walking good grip.
Yeah. I like the lash. That's what I like a lot. But yeah, that's awesome. Nice. And then another question I had was, so you're saying free riding's your main discipline?
Yeah, as I'm getting a little older and stuff,
that's
spinning
gnarly.
and tweaking the back more and stuff. So I like to go out and
I think that's crazier than park riding or any type of riding for that matter. The risk is high. And
I always try to mitigate risk. Avalanche, especially with the backcountry free riding stuff. Yeah, avalanche safety is number one. You got to know when to.
Oh yeah.
When it's on and when it's not.
That's what's crazy.
The low angle versus when to go for it. But yeah, that's always a learning curve, and always more knowledge to pick up on that kind of stuff. My main thing is I just try to go with people with as much, if not more, experience than me, and learn from them.
True. And then how are you getting back there? Just a means of transportation, are you sledding up or?
Yeah, so I don't have a sled personally. I got a couple buddies with them, so I have done some stuff, around go up Jones Pass, sled bump up, then hike from there.
Nice.
But typically, I just go on a whole way on the split board, and
nice.
Touring back and making a day out of it.
That's
one of those things. People are like, why would you want to walk, 4 hours for 1 or 2 runs or whatever? But it's just you can't hate hiking for it. But,
no.
But at the same time, kind of almost peaceful and just kind of getting your mind mentally prepared to you're going up, getting ready for the big line and stuff. But yeah, when I first did it, I was like, I don't know if I'll be into this, but started doing it and just got pretty hooked on it. So.
Nice. Same here. Did a lot of boot packing though. I need to get a split set up yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, I still ride resorts a lot too.
Yeah.
I'm about half and half these days, so I'm not one of those snobs. It's I don't ride chairlifts.
Yeah, no, neither. Me either.
So yeah, with the split boarding, how do you find the spots, or what are you searching for?
Yeah, so a lot of the places I've gone, it's been spots Vince, the chairman who you guys interviewed a week or two ago. He has had a lot of experience on Berthoud Pass and stuff, so he's shown me a lot of stuff there. And I've done a few split board event things Silverton Split Fest and talking to people down there, other split boarders, getting where's good areas around here, on Red Mountain, stuff like that. Okay. And also just even looking at just Google Earth and stuff. I've done some of that, also there's books out there too, one I think it's called Front Range Descents or something like that, and it's got 75 or so different good backcountry lines, and it kind of gives you, and with those you kind of know you're getting into, what it kind of says this is the difficulty of the hike, difficulty of the run, how many hours it would take on average to do it, best time of year to do it for snowpack and avalanche safety, all of that. So that's a good way to use it as well. But a lot of it I like. It's kind of fun, just hey, I've hiked this mountain in the summertime. This would be sweet to check out in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And, try to get an idea of, mapping it out. But yeah, there's definitely been things I have hiked in the summer, just trying to be like, scope it out for the winter too.
Yeah, totally. What's the hardest part between hiking there and preparing for unknown things like avalanche and that sorts? Like, what's the most difficult part about splitboarding?
Sure. Well, for me, I go. A few of the guys I go with, they're like way better in shape than me. So for me, it's always difficult keeping up. But but yeah, and then judging snow conditions is definitely really important. You want to dig a pit. Kind of monitor the snow as you're going. And things can change too. Like the snowpack might be better at the bottom of the mountain than it is at the top. So you kind of want to be paying attention as you're climbing up. I typically like to, especially when it's in winter, I typically like to ascend the same way I descend, so I have an idea of the snowpack I'm riding. Some lines, so it might be easier to go around to the ridge or something like that. But especially like couloir riding and stuff, like I prefer to climb it so I know what the snow's going to be like when I get in there. And then just knowing when to not ride something's kind of a hard thing to know too, and like making like group decisions, getting everybody on the same page. Luckily, I've never been involved in any like serious avalanche things. I've seen some wet slides and stuff, but never been a part of a rescue or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm not trying to ride the gnarliest either.
Right.
So like, yep. Nope. The best day split boarding is the day you get back down to the car. So you always want to get back to the car.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have a favorite spot?
Yeah. So probably the spot I go the most is Berthoud Pass, just for the frequency and stuff.
Yeah.
One of the coolest tours I've probably done, I've done it a few times now, is basically going up and doing Torrey's Peak, so one of the 14ers in Colorado. It's a good one to do in the springtime, May time frame or so. And with that one, the way I've done it, we start at A Basin, and you go up into what my buddy Ty calls Brain Bowl. I don't know if that's officially what it's called, but then climbing Shit for Brains couloir. And so it's like a narrow, steep couloir. And that one, then you actually get to the top of that, though, and you drop the backside, and you go into what's called, I believe it's Chihuahua Gulch. And you're in a big open basin, and there's no riding out of that. Like one way is like Montezuma Basin, which is miles down. But then what you do is you climb up to this next saddle, and you're on the saddle between between Torrey's and Grizzly Peak, and then from there you go up Torrey's and then down, like either down the Tuning Forks, which that's what I've done, or you could do Emperor or Dead Dog Couloir. There's a lot of options up there, but that's like an investment. It's like a 12-hour day kind of thing. You start like 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning hiking up, and then get back to the car at 4 in the afternoon.
You gotta want it.
But yeah, it's one of those. But you gotta get a couple lines, and it's just the commitment side was just such a big day. And so I haven't done it in a couple of years, but probably about due again. But that's probably the longest and most memorable one I've done. I've been up there a couple of times.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty sweet. Exploring Silverton is one of my favorite things too. I've been there maybe 4 or 5 times now, always in the spring during Silverton Split Fest. It's an event that's put on down there by some of the locals. Like Venture Snowboards is a big part of that. But a bunch of companies go down. They take their split board fleets, and it's like a little split demo. So it's pretty fun. Like in the evenings, there's a little mountain there called Kindle Mountain, and we take over the lodge basically. And all the companies will set up their little displays with their boards and stuff. And people come in the evenings, drink beer, get their board checked out, and they have that board for the whole next day. Go up, ride, and then bring it back, and do the same thing the next day. So I've met a lot of cool people there that I've gotten into split boarding with. And then I've also just explored some really cool mountains. That's an area I want to keep going back to and explore more and more.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this winter just to get the experience like all you guys have too, just because I've never been here, never really rode the Front Range, and back in the day a little bit, but I'm excited to ride this.
Yeah,
Gags and everyone always talks about.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Berthoud.
Yep. And getting the Loveland cabin shred days going again. COVID really screwed up a lot of the fun stuff we did over the past year and a half. So excited to get more of that going again.
Yep.
And shred with the NS crew.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah. So since you've been here, how's the development of Never Summer? How's that been? How's it grown and changed?
Yeah, there's definitely been changes. When I started, I think we were building 10,000 snowboards a year or so, which is a lot, but I think we're almost triple that at this point, and then we've picked up, we obviously build for some other brands as well. like Icelandic skis and stuff. All that's grown. We outgrew our old facility. When I first started, we were like 2 miles from here, just off Colorado Boulevard, kind of catty corner of where we are now, off I-70 in Colorado. And that building is like 17,000 square feet, like kind of a dungeon. It looked like an old airplane hangar almost. This new building with all of our skylights and stuff, or newer building, with this building with all the lights off was brighter than that building with all the lights on. It was kind of like a dungeon in there, and like, you know, we definitely when I started in like 07, we were pretty much like outgrown from that space. I think it was 2012 when we moved into this building, but yeah, just seeing that growth. And when we moved in over here, like a lot of our processes really got dialed in too, because you know, they probably were doing half, if not, you know, less than that when they got that original building. So say they went from 5,000 boards to 10,000. As they outgrew that space, the efficiencies and stuff kind of went out the window a little bit. They were taking like cores from one side of the building to the other side of the building to finish them back to the middle of the building to build them. So it was kind of cool when we moved to this one. We were able to like remap everything and really make things flow a little bit better and whatnot. Yeah, and then, you know, a lot more, definitely grown our staff and stuff since then. Rocker camber is one of the big changes. Right when I started is around the time when we kind of went from the traditional camber board to the first rocker camber board. I remember I was fortunate if I got to go to SIA like the last 2 years. It was in Las Vegas. That first year I was an internship, and that year we went with cambered boards, and that's what we were showing. And like I think like during like around the time of the show is when they were talking about like the rocker camber stuff, making some prototypes, but it wasn't quite dialed. After the show, they came back and we'd had enough testing and stuff done with that new profile that they decided to change the whole lineup even after we'd shown it, and basically make that first year. I think we had a lot of our boards you get in camber or rocker camber.
Okay.
So we like added that to it, and then that obviously just became like a big staple of our boards at this point. We were like the first ones to get a patent on it and really bring it to market with the rocker and the camber combo. So really, you know, changed the game a bit. And I think that attributed to a lot of our growth during that time as well, just really having like a true innovation to snowboarding.
Yeah. You think that was like one of the biggest growths Never Summer has had?
I think it probably was like year-to-year growth. I can't say 100%, but it seems like, that 2008 to 2011, we were just ramping up. So, you know, Never Summer boards always been known as like bomb-proof, like really good boards. And I think we were also doing some stuff with wood then too, lightening them up a little bit, you know, really just trying to modernize the board. So some good technological advances.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think a lot of other people, I feel like a lot of other people try to emulate that same process or the same kind of technology that we have. But I just, you know, and I'm not going to say any other names, but I feel like I've ridden those boards, which I have ridden those boards, and it's like it's just not the same.
Yeah, and there were full rocker boards that were out in the market, you know, before the rocker camber stuff came. But yeah, definitely a lot followed suit and stuff. And you know, we didn't get a patent to like say you can't build this, but we didn't want one of the big guys to try to do that and then tell us like, you know, like you guys can't build that board,
which probably would have happened.
Protection, you know, in marketing, I think more than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been cool. And now with our Proto FR, we've got the new
triple
hybrid camber coming, where it's got the triple camber, the little camber section between the feet. And I've ridden the solid board, I haven't ridden the split yet. But that solid board, man, it's got awesome edge hold. I'm excited to get on it more this year. It kind of has like more of the advantages of that rocker, but edge hold a little bit more similar to what I remember from cambered boards. So.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Always mixing it up. Always room to change stuff up.
Yo.
It's always cool too. Like, you know, since we build the boards right here in the U.S. In our factory, it's nice being able to build a prototype. You know, give it to the guys, take out for the week, and get feedback. You know, tweak it if it sucks. You know, we switch it up, get something else going. But that's one thing I've liked about working here too, is just being able to really kind of feel like you have a say in how things go, because we're not making our boards, you know, across an ocean where it takes a month to get a prototype, you know, a month to get it back, and then you know, forever to try it. So
just how local it is.
Yeah, I think that's probably helped with some of our innovation as well. We can try shit pretty easy.
Take it out,
Yep.
Yeah. So have you noticed like it's been consistently growing year to year, Never Summer as a whole?
Yeah, definitely. I say every year has been at least some growth. You know, some years more than others. The one caveat to that, COVID. You know, we had to go down 50% due to all of that. So last year we didn't hit the normal numbers we do, but coming back this year now that we've ramped up production again, be able to get the staff all back and stuff. We're right back where we were.
Yeah. So how did like COVID affect you with working here?
Yeah. So man, that was a whirlwind. It seemed like it all
Yeah.
happened so quick. Like, I remember clearly, like middle of March 2020. Things were getting scary with COVID. Things were talking, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden we got word that there was going to be like a mandatory shutdown, and so we shut the factory down for 2 weeks, just kind of figuring out what was happening with that. And one thing we had that was able to get us opened up a little quicker than what we thought. We did a contract with the military. We're still doing a contract with the military where we make basically a touring ski that they use, and we were building those, and that helped us to be able to open up a little quicker. Since we were working on the military skis, we qualified as essential, and
Right.
so we were able to come back at 50% capacity, and obviously had to have a lot of COVID restrictions and things, change some things, move some stations further apart from each other, get the masks on, but yeah, so that was definitely a big lot to work through, and I was the one who got to kind of call everybody and let them know what was going on. One of the toughest parts was, since we could only bring half the people back initially, was telling people that they couldn't come to work right away. And over the course of the last 6 months or so, everyone who's wanted to come back has been able to, luckily at this point. But no, it definitely wasn't fun dealing with it and getting through it. But everyone had to deal with it.
Yeah.
The same. We're not the only ones, I guess. But no, I'm just glad that we've been able to start onboarding again and getting stuff back up to our normal capacity, and actually.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, right.
Thanks again.
Yeah, but it was definitely a weird time with a lot of unknowns. So I'm glad we were able to get through. Early on, we're like, are people going to buy snowboards? Are the resorts even going to open? And if
Right.
that didn't happen, I don't know where we'd be sitting today. Luckily, the resorts open, in one form or another with reservations and whatnot. But we were in a position though where it ended up being, we couldn't build enough boards, so just based off our numbers and stuff. So luckily, people still wanted to buy the snowboards at least. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we were able to go snowboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been gnarly if the resorts never opened up.
It also kind of COVID pushed everyone outside and pushed a lot of people to the backcountry.
If anything, I think it increased our demand. I know our split demand's gone up this year. We've got more on orders, so we're building more split boards than we've ever done before.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that was too, like, people were thinking, I'll try the backcountry stuff. I don't know if my resort's going to stay open and stuff. I think a lot of people got a little taste of that and got into it. So.
Yeah. Was there anything that had to change to keep up with the demand in split boards?
We're still working on that process. We're trying
Right.
to get a little more efficient on getting them through, because there's a lot of love that goes into those.
Yeah.
The Bleho bros kind of they pioneered the split boards here at Never Summer. They used to make them basically after hours on their own. They had a deal with Tim and Tracy where they'd use Never Summer materials and stuff, but build them off the after hours basically, and they're all one-off boards, super custom and stuff. And that split boarding got more and more popular. I think it was around 2010, 2011. We started making them, in-house, like with the normal Never Summer. Put the whole Never Summer crew on it, but Justin and Bentley still oversee all those processes of it. And now that we're like doubling in our split numbers in 1 year, we're kind of working like, all right, we need to make sure we get them done with the same quality. I want the Bleho stamp of approval on every one of them, but we need to be more efficient. So I know Tim's been working on doing like a new jig for some of the drilling and stuff, just things we can do to speed up the process, but not take away any of the value or the craftsmanship of the board.
Right on.
But yeah, it's they're the good problems to have, growing pains.
Yeah.
But,
That's for sure. So being with Never Summer all this time, what's something that like makes it special and unique to you?
Oh, good question. Man, probably a lot of things, but
Yeah.
I gotta say the people's a lot of it. Like a lot of my best friends here, the people I go riding with on weekends work here, and just kind of like a labor of love. I care about snowboarding. I'm passionate about it. If anything, working here has probably increased my passion for it. And working with other people with kind of the like-minded philosophy on it, whether it be snowboarding or skateboarding, just getting outside camping and stuff. I think I found some of my best friends here, so kind of keeps it very family oriented. Yep.
Yeah, right on. Right. So I got one last question. I'm wondering, what does it mean to be a snowboarder to you?
Well, first off, you have to snowboard.
Yeah.
but yeah, I'd be a snowboarder. Basically, it's a lifestyle, I would say, more than anything. I'm a snowboarder on the mountain, but I also like have the mentality of snowboarding when I'm at work. Like, if I'm walking around the city and see like a handrail or something that looks cool. I'm like, oh man, like that's a snowboard feature,
Yeah.
you know, something like that. You know, just kind of having that mindset, and I think you know, a lot of snowboarders just enjoy life.
The Mantern.
Not everyone's gonna know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks to Vince.
Yeah. Shout out, Vince.
He's the one who told you
Is that
about the
good?
Mantern?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.